Hello again, many thanks for choosing us. Now, the Finance Ministry has for the 6th consecutive time topped the list as the most fiscally reckless institution among the ministries, departments and agencies of government. This was contained in Imani's latest Fiscal Reckless Index. The index cited tax and cash irregularities as the drivers for the fiscal recklessness score. The Ministry of Health was ranked as the second most fiscal reckless institution. My colleague Blessed Suga joins me via Zoom with more on this. Blessed, let's start first with the details of the recklessness cited at the Finance Ministry by Imani.
Well, Ernest, so what we do know is that according to the Imani's Fiscal Reckless Index, the Ministry of Finance has actually topped that list as the most fiscally reckless institution amongst the ministries, departments, and agencies since 2015 and 2020. It cited, for instance, tax and issues relating to cash irregularities as part of the problem dragging the ministry's fiscal recklessness. Now, it also expanded that the finance ministry, for instance, is responsible for 99.63%, representing some 9.1 billion Ghana cedis of the combined 9.12 billion tax irregularities from 2015 to 2020. Also, the finance ministry accounted for 80.10%, representing 2.35 billion of the combined 2.93 billion cash irregularities from 2015 to 2020. So these are some of the main challenges that the report is pointing out to.
The Health Ministry came second. Which other ministries followed, and what were the recommendations in the by Imani?
Well, so what we do know is that the Ministry of Health is arguably the second most fiscally reckless institution, the fourth and fifth most fiscally reckless institutions. Some of the MDAs over the 6 years that were for instance, the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Ministry of Employment. We also have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which is also featuring in this report. Imani is recommending that the Auditor General must, in a very rigorous manner, apply the disallowance and surcharge powers, giving it under the country's laws. The Attorney General, they believe, must also act in terms of enforcing the punitive measures against persons or individuals that have been found culpable in this report.
Blessed, thank you very much. And you have the full details of that report on myjoyonline.com. You can go there and read some more. But let's stay with the economy, because economist and finance lecturer Professor Godfred Bokpin says banks operating in Ghana have rejected the original terms of the debt exchange program. According to him, the banks have made counter proposals to the government that analyzes the impact of the proposed debt exchange on their balance sheet. Speaking on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM, Professor Bokpin said the banks have indicated that even without the debt exchange restructuring, the mark-to-market valuation policy has resulted in explicit losses on their books.
Already, the banks, we've seen a strong pushback from the banks. The banks practically have rejected the original terms of the debt exchange. We are told that they've made a counter proposal. The banks have also analyzed the impact of the proposed debt exchange on their balance sheet. The banks have indicated that even without debt restructuring, mark-to-market of government financial instruments on their books is manifesting explicitly in losses. Okay, so there is already a pushback from the banks. Whilst it is good news to organized labor, what happened yesterday, it makes the road a little harder for government in our journey to restore debt sustainability. One thing that we should know, given the level of instability and the mess we have created, you will see clearly that 3 years is not enough for Ghana to restore debt sustainability. And the reason I'm saying so what it means is that debt sustainability is actually beyond an IMF program now.
Now, the banks, according to the Central Securities Depository monthly bulletin, hold a chunk of government's bond to the tune of 50 billion Ghana cedis. Professor Bokmin also says that 3% cut in the capital adequacy ratio will not be enough to cushion the banks against the shocks.
And then also under Basel II and scaling up, some particularly local banks may be required to bring additional capital. We have seen, and as we had indicated, that Bank of Ghana probably would cut away 3% of the capital reservation buffer, essentially reducing the capital adequacy ratio to 10% in order to accommodate them. But that would still not be enough. Okay, so the point that we had raised earlier, government is now coming back to the reality that the whole strategy that the government adopted in this debt restructuring was poor, and that it was going to get a serious pushback. So, from where we sit, a certain level of debt restructuring is unavoidable, and it will still require all relevant stakeholders to come to the restructuring table. But more importantly, government being transparent, full disclosure, the extent of the problem, the various scenarios, and then so we can have some kind of compromise going forward.
Some other stories now, and soldiers deployed to clamp down on illegal mining operations have come under incessant violent attacks from affected communities. According to the Central Command of the Ghana Armed Forces, community members resort to the use of arms and pelting of missiles at the military, frustrating their fight against the menace. General Officer Commanding Brigadier General Joseph Afor says the military is also challenged by poor communication networks for successful operation.
7 more districts in the Ashanti region have been invaded by illegal miners, despite increased efforts to stop the menace. Out of the 43 districts in the region, 25 are now afflicted by galamsey. A military swoop at Mansodatano in September this year angered the youth who were benefiting from pits they claim were opened by other miners. Sometimes, the resentment degenerates into aggression towards the military. Though the military have restrained themselves, Brigadier General Joseph Afor wants stakeholders to call such irate youth to order.
It is worthy to note that the year 2022 recorded the arrest of several illegal miners and seizure of their equipment. This goes to attest to our readiness in dealing decisively with perpetrators of this monstrous act. The honorable guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, let me be quick to add that the posture of some locals towards troops on anti-galamsey operations has been a cause of worry to us. There have been instances where some locals pelted troops with stones and other harmful materials they laid their hands on. Some of these individuals sometimes wield deadly weapons against troops, all in an attempt to frustrate troops from undertaking their legally sanctioned duty. It is my hope that the appropriate stakeholders would be impressed upon to caution this youth to desist from such acts to avoid any clash with the military and other security agencies. This notwithstanding, I would also like to sound a note of caution to all troops to also refrain from indulging in illegal or one-man operations.
Meanwhile, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, has lauded the intervention of the military in the fight against illegal mining. He further called for increased support in dealing with the menace.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've reiterated time and time again my grave concern about the rate at which our water bodies and environment are being destroyed due to illegal mining across the region. I urge you to continue to support us in the fight so that the menace can be dealt with.
For Joy News, Nana Yauchima, Kumasi.
Rice farmers in Biemso number 1 in the Ahafuano South district of the Ashanti region are resisting attempts by illegal miners to ravage their over 300-acre farmland. But for their resolve to push out the illegal miners and save Ghana, some local rice seeds appear bleak. Now, a mini dam serving as an irrigation source to their farms is now polluted with heavy illegal mining slurry, impacting adversely on their farm produce. Emmanuel Kweku visited the farming community and has come through with this report.
A huge illegal mining pit is dug in the middle of a 300-acre rice plantation catered by over 80 farmers at Biemso number 1. The illegal mining activity is happening right behind the home of the Member of Parliament for Ahafuano South constituency. Unprovoked by the devastation caused, the illegal miners continue to invade other parts of the rice farms. Mahama Moro and his colleagues have been working on the farmland for over 22 years.
Solar panel, solar and twins who made good has so. Then now, much to go, more than Galatian for a bomb, come a hope, assassin so, and yet, I see I see so am I a Juma from the year 2000. So until we had done this, we will cry. I'm to see down my. I'm Galam, I was at 2. Galam say, I see for say, Galam say, a moose can't miss dying. Residents
of Biemso number 1 are well known for their involvement in both rice and maize farming, positioned as the second largest rice production hub in the Ashanti region. The farmers here grow a variety of local rice seeds. They depend heavily on the Biem stream running through their plantations for farming activities.
This mini dam was constructed under the S.Y. Kufuor administration. That is according to the farmers over here. It was constructed for irrigation purposes. But unfortunately, the crystal clear water has turned into a milky brown sludge.
The highly polluted water has forced the farmers to shut down the irrigation canal, distributing water across their farms. Maize and paddy rice plants along the stream are dying out as a result.
President Kufuor obedi President Vice President Baumia obedi President Speaker of Parliament Bembabe Okaho MPs Assemblyman Committee for will be abedi munibi and so nipa says pe ebo Ghana ya no duane toagu okoka o mse ya pepe for yeni asase wo ha.
The government's efforts of making the country self-sufficient in rice producing is now threatened as production of the farmlands are depreciating.
Then I see year be 2 times. And I'm saying soon say na say time and soon to rain season I don't know say yentimi san no bi. She said next year. And you bet me asan do funi bi nti ama e mo stock was yenya no. Yenya
mitimi twa mo no almost be 120 bars. This year galamsey for no buy no. Mo am twa nyina 18 bars. 18 bars me so makogi bosia wa amano bank. As is your interest a dem anim no. Enya asem koto over 100 million. Isi am fa kwa be so na akutuaka. Amo no de mitwa mitimi nya bi tua meka na skani bia yeden aka me botomi nya bi hwe me masku.
Many of these farmers are currently out of business, but the few ones struggling for water source are resorting to domestic sources to irrigate and apply fertilizer on their farms.
Drone the old body a quite chiricacra. Nan collect ensuya, ya do board drew, almost free, near the board drew a hanum.
These farmers at Biemso number 1 have their source of livelihood on the line as the faceless illegal miners continue to ravage their lands. For Joy News, Emmanuel Kweku reporting.
Vice President Mahmoud Bawumia has promised to leave no stone unturned in a bid to make fire academies and fire officers in Ghana among the best in their peers on the continent. Now, the Vice President made this bold declaration when he commissioned some facilities at the Fire Academy and Training School at Jamestown here in Accra. There's more on the following report.
Fire outbreaks, particularly market fires, have caused havoc and destroyed businesses, property, and even death. Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has urged fire officers in the country to remain steadfast and committed to their mandates of saving lives and property. Speaking at the commissioning and handing over of new facilities at the Fire Academy and Training School, the Vice President revealed the vision is to deliver Africa's best fire academy.
Since the coming into office of our government in 2017, the Ghana National Fire Service has been given permission to recruit in excess of 7,000 personnel to augment the manpower strength of the service. 7,000 personnel since 2017. This demonstrates government's efforts of ensuring that the Ghana National Fire Service has adequate personnel to expand its operations to cover all districts of the country.
The facilities include a 600 capacity classroom block, a dining hall, male and female dormitories, and hydraulic platforms. They are expected to train the next generation of firefighters to change the status quo and help fire officers execute their core mandates.
When fires are kept at bay, lives are preserved, and property and investments are also protected. Let us continue to rally our efforts behind His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the government in order to ensure prosperity for all. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the contractor on these projects, Kabore Construction, for the excellent and timely delivery of these projects.
Alhaji Kabore, who constructed the facility, said he expects authorities at the Fire Academy to make the best out of what he has built.
I built two dormitories, one classroom. The classroom is 3-story building, and then a dining hall. The classroom is at the back. It's 3-story building, and then the dormitories. It will help fire service a lot because now the number of the dormitory and the dining hall, the classroom, will help them to do whatever they want to do. At first, I think they have difficulties in the dining hall, dormitory, and a lot. And now, I think that will be the turn of the past. But the most important thing is the maintenance, to keep it. That is the problem.
Many thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now it's just a few hours to Christmas, and already the bus terminals are busy with passengers traveling to and from Accra to celebrate Christmas. Many have chosen to travel today because they want to avoid the huge traffic congestion associated with traveling on the 24th of December. The passengers who spoke to my colleague Ernest Kojo Manu say, with or without money, the season must be celebrated.
This is the VIP bus terminal. We are dozens of hours away from Christmas. As usual, the place is very, very busy. People are traveling to Accra to celebrate Christmas. Others are also leaving Accra to their various destinations. They tell me that usually they do their travels on the 24th, but now because everyone is fixated on the 24th, they want to leave early to avoid the usual traffic that's on the way. A lot of them have been telling me that even though there is no money in their pockets, but once they have life, they must celebrate Christmas to the fullest. I've been interacting with them.
You know how the system is. Definitely, we will manage. With a few things that we have, we actually manage with our families. That is why we want to go back and see them. Because tomorrow, 24th, definitely, as you see, getting car is a little bit difficult. So we are trying as much as possible to go back home and catch up with the family.
I'm Lodina.
So where are you traveling to?
I'm going to Sunyani. We're not expecting anything much, but at least the year has ended, and then we have to go and meet family members and then have some chit-chat with them and know what will happen the next year. So that's why we are going home. There's no money in the system, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't meet our family too. So we have to. Anyway that we have to get the money to go home, we have to go and then meet them and yeah.
Because share.
Fiscal, what is Fiscal?
Because it's so it's Fiscal. Ya baba ya wana sana yoko. Esan baba. Esan baba.
Tell me where you are traveling to.
Okay, I'm from Dubai. I'm going to Sunyani. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, you came because of this Christmas?
Yeah, I came because of Christmas.
Wow.
I want to come and visit my family and go back.
Actually, we came all the way from Kumasi to this place. Yeah, I came with my family, as you can see there, right? Yeah, with me. Yeah, we are here because of the Christmas. We're going to West Hills, Kaswa, yes, along Kaswa Road. Yeah, we'll be going there to have fun, which is on the 25th. Yes, so basically, and then right from that, we'll have some small family get-together in the house. Yeah, so basically, that's what we'll be doing. Yeah. There's no money, but what do we do? You live with it. You have no option. We do say there's no money, so you not eat. Obviously, you eat, yes. So there's no money, like, yes. Everybody is, lamenting there's no money. Indeed, there's no money. But we still have to eat.
Oh, say I feel sweet, scan it, ye dear, as all the adjunoto, said the bear, also qua or Keska, and or Kobedi Emo.
It is not only about the celebration of Christmas that they are concerned about, but they also have concerns about road safety. In this period, the Yuletide period, a lot of accidents do occur, and they want to caution passengers, not only drivers, but passengers as well, to keep their eyes on the road to ensure that they get to their destinations safely. They have some pieces and snippets of advice for drivers and passengers.
They should be very careful with the course of their driving, because at this festive season, everybody wants to go and at least come back, and that is where the caution must actually comes in. So we expect that they will tread cautiously. They will actually be law-abiding citizens in the course of driving, so that all of us will be able to get back home safely.
I think this year, the accidents, we didn't hear much about it. So I think the drivers too are doing very well. And the passengers too are comporting themselves very good. So I think it's very good for this year. Yeah. Oh, I would say every driver should take care, drive safely, no overtaking, overspeeding, and anything that will cause any harm to any individual. Yeah.
During this time, what I would tell the drivers is to slow down, follow roadworthy, obey the instructions, obey the police, and obey the passengers. We will pass through.
They should pay attention to the traffic lights. When the traffic light, when there's defective in the traffic lights, they should try and then maneuver their way in a way that will not cause any accidents. Yes.
From the VIP bus terminal here at Circle, my name is Ernest Kojo Manu for joining me.
And some drivers in the Tamale metropolis complain bitterly about how some pedestrians carelessly use the highways, as they say it contributes largely in road accidents in the area. The drivers disclosed this when the Northern Regional Youth Parliament under the Northern Regional Youth Authority collaborated with the Road Safety Authority in the region to educate motorists to help fight road accidents ahead of this year's Christmas. Northern Region recorded 121 separate road crashes between January and August this year, as 50 people lost their lives while about 242 people were injured. Abubakar Al-Hassan, Baba Musa and Al-Hassan Yakubu have been speaking to Adom News.
We are here to sensitize
the yellow drivers on road safety or road traffic regulations. You know, we've been recording a lot of road traffic accidents, and we thought that these people need to be sensitized to know how to apply our rules. They take passengers. If they don't know the road traffic regulations, they put their lives and the lives of the passengers in danger. That's why we decided to engage them, so that we let them understand that the passengers are the source of their source of income. So if they put their life in danger or if they harm them, they'll not be able to do what? Get their daily needs. So that's what we are here this morning to do. Particularly every festive seasons, people are traveling, and this transport operators are in a hurry because they always want to rush and come back, pick more passengers to make more money. That's why we are recording a lot of accidents during this period. So we came today to tell them, in fact the exercise has been going on since 1st of December. So we came to let them understand that if you are in a hurry, you lose your daily income or your source of income, because the passengers gives you the income. So if you don't make sure their lives are safety, they arrive safely and come back, you are not likely to get them the next day to pick them and get something out of them.
We bumped into a security man, in fact, to be precise, a policeman who was riding a motorbike without a crash helmet, without a protective gear. And we were questioning him whether he was giving support to the efforts we are trying to make, or we are making in making the people realize the need for them to play it safe out there. He didn't understand the question, so I went direct to him and said, why are you riding the motorbike without a protective crash helmet? And you go out there and tell people to wear the crash helmet. If it comes to enforcement, you arrest people who will go contrary to the dictates of safety. So where do you put us and where do you put yourself? He couldn't answer the question. So we said, well, all we want him to do is next time he's riding on a motorbike, is to make sure he's in the what do you call it, safety gear, the protective crash helmet, before, or else we'll take him on and then the law will take its course. If you choose danger, no, the consequences are there in wait for you. If you choose safety, the benefits are there in wait for you. Which one will you choose? It is for you to make your choice.
I have to thank the road safety very much for what the education that they have brought to us. In fact, we learned a lot of safety through their coming, because sometimes the zebra cross, sometimes it always causes us danger. When I mean danger, you will stop pedestrians, some of them, they will not quickly give you way to also go, or sometimes you even stop and motor riders will come and knock some of the pedestrians down. You see, afford carelessness is like, it's a major issue, because some of us, I will not even say we have to be blamed, because I'm also a driver. Sometimes I can equally see some of them riding it carelessly, and due to some of them, they take tramadol or high drugs on the road. There are a lot of rubbish. When I say rubbish, my colleagues drivers, they don't have time to, or they don't even have patience to be on the road. And if you are come out for money, you have to be patient. It's not that when you are riding it quickly or you are rushing that will give you money.
This is John News Prime with me, Ernest Kojo Manu. Time now for John News Editorial with Araba Kumsin.
The National Cathedral and President Akufo-Addo are back in the news. You may have heard the president say people criticizing the National Cathedral are like Sambalat and Tobias.
Thank the Presbyterian Church of Ghana for the support it continues to give for the construction of the National Cathedral. Just like Sanballat and Tobias, in the days of Nehemiah, there are some who do not share my view on the building of the National Cathedral. I respect their right to differ, but I'm confident in my decision by the vast numbers of enthusiastic supporters of this project, whose spiritual dimension is limitless.
Interesting. Let's go to church. Open your Bibles to Nehemiah chapter 4, verses 1. And it reads, when Sanballat heard that we were rebuilding the wall, he became angry and was greatly incensed. He ridiculed the Jews, and in the presence of his associates and the army of Samaria, he said, what are those feeble Jews doing? Will they restore their wall? Will they offer sacrifices? Will they finish in a day? Can they bring the stones back to life from those heaps? Well, to summarize, despite the mockery, Nehemiah built the wall in 52 days around the city of Jerusalem. This is the reason why building a wall was important at that time. One, a city without a wall was open to bandits, gangs, and wild animals, even though the empire might be at peace. Two, building the wall was to protect the Lord's temple, which could easily be burgled because it had rich decorations. So, it was an emergency. The question is, why are we in a hurry to build a national cathedral when we are begging the IMF to salvage the economy, which is already in tatters? Ghanaians are religious and generous. I'm very confident that if they found the National Cathedral project very important, especially in these times, they would gladly donate and not hesitate. First of all, Mr. President, you told us that the cathedral will be built through donations from Christians. Then you told us that the state will provide seed money. An amount of 25 million cedis was donated. Then we realized that the state has donated more than just seed money without parliamentary approval. Now, when the finance minister was queried, he said he took the money from the government contingency fund. Now, contingency means a provision for a possible event or circumstance. So is the finance minister saying that the National Cathedral is a contingency? Mr. President, you serve us. We want the National Cathedral, but not in these times. Currently the nation is broke. We can't pay our debtors. We are talking about a debt exchange program. The minority blocked 80 million cedis voted to the National Cathedral in the 2023 budget. But we know that your government may find ways of funding the project without parliamentary approval, just like what the finance minister did by withdrawing from the contingency fund. Mr. President, why is it so difficult for you to listen to us? Nehemiah fought hard to build the wall because it was necessary to protect the temple of God. In Ghana, we also have an emergency, a very serious emergency. We are poor. We are desperate. We are broke. We need you to fix that problem. So why is our emergency not your priority? We need you to immediately fix the economy and protect us just like Nehemiah protected the city of Jerusalem. Mr. President, you said building the cathedral will signify an appreciation to God for sparing the country from conflicts and plagues over the years. We indeed are grateful to God for protecting us. Felix Houphouët-Boigny, the first president of Ivory Coast, he built the Basilica of Our Lady of Peace in 1989. But from 2010 to 2011, Ivory Coast had a serious crisis. Over 200 people died. This happened years after the cathedral was built. Why didn't God spare them from that crisis? Mr. President, for once, listen to your people. Chiefs are saying you should suspend the project. CLOCSAG workers say you should suspend the project. Pressure groups Arise Ghana and Justice for Ghana picketed Parliament just this week to demand that the House does not approve an 80 million cedi allocation for the construction of the National Cathedral.
National Cathedral ono na de ba bia ontimi mpopa ne din mfiri ho na samre ne ewom de esoro no yesika futuo no ompa ne san koka National Cathedral no o ma ne nsi ho na onyere na ho sika se no ntintim ne ye.
In Luke 14:28-30, is there anyone here planning to build a new house, in this case a cathedral, who doesn't first sit down to figure the cost so you know if you can complete it? If you only get the foundation laid, and Mr. Speaker, the Bible is so telling. The Bible knew Ghana will have a president called Akufo-Addo. This is what he says. If you only get the foundation laid and then run out of money, you are going to look pretty foolish. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. He started something he couldn't finish. This is the word of the Lord.
The cathedral, according to the president, he made a personal pledge to the deity he worshipped, God. But what beat us is Akufo-Addo never had the courage to put that in his manifesto or his policy programs. He never did. Justice for Ghana has taken a resolute stand that we don't want anything there to be called a cathedral. We want the whole place to be transformed to its previous state.
Also, generally, I mean, a cross-section of Ghanaians believe that the timing is not right. The project, there's nothing wrong with it, but the timing is not right. Mr. President, I want to show you this. Watch. That's the National Cathedral. Very, very, very beautiful project, edifice there. Would you rather have this when your children are like this?
A desk. When I saw the story,
let's review our priorities. If Ghana is still practicing democracy, then, Mr. President, you must listen to the voices of the people.